for you?
In art, in human connection, in the people I love, in laughter and creating something you're proud of. There's so much. Today I'll say, definitely I'll focus on
Ariana
art.
Grande is one of the most successful singers and performers of this generation. Over the years, she has continuously evolved, changing not only her music but also her image and public persona. However, in recent years, a different kind of conversation has emerged, one centered on her appearance. There has been countless discussions online focusing on her body, her face, and the way she looks today compared to the past 2016, 2018, and 2020 Ariana. Some comments have been openly cruel, while others have been framed as concern. Many people insist they are simply worried about her well-being, but that raises an important question. Is this concern truly coming from a place of compassion, or has it become another socially acceptable way to scrutinize and judge women in the public eye? Over the past few years, Ariana has become the subject of an endless public investigation. Every photograph is examined, every music video is always questioned, every appearance is dissected, every change is treated like a mystery that needs solving. Millions of strangers have convinced themselves that they know her better than she knows herself. They compare old photos, analyze facial expressions, study her body, debate her health, and question her happiness, and then justify it all with one phrase: we are just concerned. One thing about the public, as much as it can support their artists, the public is also a group of people that can also sometimes be very toxic, especially to the person that they idolize the most. And with Ariana Grande, she has been getting a lot of backlash of how she looks, especially on Twitter, on TikTok, people even mocking, saying they miss the old Blackiana bag or whatever nickname they gave her. And people seem to really have a lot of time on their hands to be sitting down and judging people, because I feel like the fact that they have all the energy to sit down and to analyze someone's facial expression, to see if there's something wrong, to see if maybe something is happening in their life, or they're questioning their happiness, people really go whole, detective on their star's life. And sometimes it's very cute, but sometimes it's very scary, especially when it basically comes to being obsessed with a concern that's just not genuine. Because what happens when empathy becomes entitlement? And what happens when an entire culture begins treating a woman's body like public property? This is not just the story of Ariana Grande, it is a story of a society that claims to care about women while refusing to leave them alone.
Like, I can see her humerus bone through her skin. I've never seen these bones on a human person on stage before. I have to look away. Like, I'm going to have to stop paying.
And she looks a little concerning. However, we don't know what's going on, with her health or anything like that, so I'm not even going to speak too much on her appearance.
Hollywood is more than just glamour, it's a world of mystery, and on Tragic Icons, we unravel it all. For most celebrities, change is expected. For Ariana Grande, it seems to be treated like a betrayal. Over the past decade, Ariana has gone through multiple eras: the bubbly Nickelodeon star, the dangerous woman era, the pop superstar behind Thank You Next, the glamorous chart-topping celebrity who dominated music and social media. Each version of Ariana introduced something new: a new look, a new sound, a new perspective. But somewhere along the way, many fans stopped following Ariana's evolution and became attached to a specific version of her, the version they grew up with, the version that reminds them of a particular time in their lives, the version they decided was the real Ariana. Today, whenever Ariana appears in public, comparisons immediately follow. People compare her face, her body, her voice, her mannerism, her personality. Everything is measured against a past version of herself, and that creates an impossible situation, because the Ariana people miss no longer exists, not because something bad happened, but because human beings change. The problem is that audiences often struggle to separate nostalgia from reality, and what they call concern is sometimes grief. Not grief for Ariana, but grief for a version of Ariana that represented a different moment in their own lives. And rather than accepting that change, they continue searching for a person who was never meant to stay the same forever.
My gloss is poppin'. You like my hair? Gee, thanks. Just bought it. I see it. Positions for you. Getting in the kitchen and I'm in the bedroom. I don't need a lip that say I'm coming through. It's hard, make me tired, yeah. Summer.
It is. Big. All right, tell me more. Who's producing what? Who are you working with?
I worked with Pharrell and Nana, Julia and Salvin, and it was a really awesome experience. It is called Sweetener, which I'm
Most people are allowed to change in private. Celebrities are usually not, because the audiences idolize these people, and their reality, their psychosis is that these people should always stay the same forever. Every phase of Ariana Grande's life has unfolded in front of millions of people, because she was a child star as well. In her teenage years, her early 20s, her relationships, her heartbreak, her success, her mistakes, her growth. Every chapter has been documented, discussed, and archived online. As a result, many people feel as though they know her, but there is a difference between watching someone grow and actually knowing them. The public often forgets that the Ariana they see is only a collection of appearances, performances, interviews, and carefully selected moments. It's a brand. The real person, who she really is, beyond that whole Ariana Grande brand, is someone who is the real person, who is someone who's different. Yet celebrity culture encourages audiences to keep growing, audiences to believe they have ownership over the people they admire. Fans begin creating expectations. They expect consistency, they expect familiarity. Audiences start becoming very toxic. This is the toxic side and the dark side of being a consumer, of being an audience. Because the moment when an audience starts becoming obsessed, they start harboring a lot of entitlement on the person that they actually idolize. They expect the celebrity to remain emotionally recognizable, but life doesn't work that way. People evolve, experiences change them, success changes them, loss changes them, time changes them. The irony is that Ariana Grande is being criticized for doing something completely normal, and that's growing up. But the most painful part is when she lost all that weight, people started taunting her, people saying that she needs to eat, she looks disgusting, people were making a meme out of her. And that's just something that's just so sad, because this is to show you that the same audience that love you, the same fans that go for you, are the same fans that also end up attacking you. And perhaps that is why so many conversations about her feel so sad, because a lot of people have been judging her, a lot of people have been scrutinizing her, a lot of people have been saying things that are just so sad, especially online. And beneath everything, beneath the so called concern, the comparisons, and the endless analysis lies a deeper message, a message that many women know all too well. People are comfortable with your growth until that growth makes you unrecognizable to them. The most powerful criticism is criticism disguised as kindness, because kindness is difficult to challenge. When someone says that they hate you, at least they are honest. But when someone says they are worried about you, the situation becomes more complicated. Concern creates moral protection. It allows people to say things they would never otherwise say to anyone. Imagine if you walking up to a stranger, or a stranger walks up to you and starts saying, "Oh, you've lost weight, you don't look healthy, you looked better 5 years ago." Most people, I mean you and me, would think that, oh my gosh, this person is rude. You would be scared. You would feel like this person is judging you and they do not know you. You would even feel like, you know what, I need to get away from this person. That's how crazy judgment actually is, especially from people that you just do not know. Yet, when the subject is a celebrity, especially a female celebrity, the rules suddenly change. Most of the time, audiences are not very easygoing when it comes to their icons or their idols, the people that they actually worship. They are not easy when it comes to who they actually see as their role model, especially with the female celebrity industry. The criticism becomes socially acceptable because it is wrapped in concern, a concern that I actually call fake. And Ariana Grande has become one of the internet's favorite examples, because people claim they are worried, yet many of these discussions contain very little actual concern. Instead, they contain judgment, speculation, projection, and sometimes even fascination. The internet has learned that concern is one of the safest ways to scrutinize someone, and Ariana became trapped inside that dynamic. One of the strangest trends of modern internet culture is the rise of the amateur aspect. Today, everyone is a therapist, everyone is a doctor, everyone is a detective, everyone on social media, on TikTok, is a psychologist, everyone is a body language analyst. Everyone seems to understand when you're not happy or when something is wrong, even though they've never met you. Everyone is just a professional in fields that they just never study for online. A single photograph can generate thousands of diagnoses. People no longer simply observe celebrities, they now consume them in a dangerous way, in a way that's just very toxic. They attempt to explain them. Every smile means something, every expression becomes evidence, every appearance becomes a case study, and nowhere is this more visible than in conversations surrounding Ariana Grande. Entire communities have formed around analyzing her appearances, not only her music videos, her performances, her body, her face, her weight, her health. The internet has become addicted to turning human beings into puzzles, and Ariana is one of the most discussed puzzles online. The irony is that many of these conversations happen under the banner of mental health awareness, yet they often involve invasive speculation that would be considered inappropriate in almost any other context. The internet says it wants to protect people, but increasingly it seems to enjoy diagnosing them. The most important part of this conversation has nothing to do with Ariana Grande, because celebrity culture never stays contained. It always spills into ordinary life. When millions of people spend years dissecting a woman's appearance, they reinforce an idea that women should expect scrutiny, that women owe explanations, that women's bodies are open for discussion, and eventually those standards leave celebrity culture and enter everyday society. Young girls see these conversations, women read these comments, and they absorb the message. If Ariana Grande cannot age, change, lose weight, gain weight, or reinvent herself without becoming a public debate, what hope does everyone else have? The internet often treats celebrity criticism as harmless, but culture does not work that way. The way we talk about famous women eventually becomes the way we talk about all women, and perhaps that is the most disturbing part of this story, because Ariana Grande may be the face of the conversation, but she is not its only victim. She is simply the most visible one. These people who are in the public, when they're going through these problems, they are just their example. They are being crucified and they are there on the pedestal. Everyone is watching them as an example. And we carry that fear. We carry everything that we see, that we're preserving, everything that we are being pushed and all this access, and we are taking it to our day-to-day lives. Whatever is being shown out there, even if the music can be toxic, whatever is being shown that's good, evil, bad, we take it into our daily lives and we start becoming those people. A lot of people then start going from judging the celebrities to judging their friends, to judging their neighbors, and to start judging themselves. This is a relationship that has become so toxic and just so sad. People cannot seem to let go of the idea that idolizing someone is not so healthy at the end of the day. Ariana Grande, she's 30-something, she's growing up, she's no longer the same 22-year-old girl she was, 25-year-old, 26-year-old, 27-year-old. Same thing with all celebrities. She has evolved and she has moved from a certain brand image. And if people fail to evolve in their life, they should not expect people to not evolve, because they can't seem to evolve past their own reality, past who they actually are, past everything they have actually been consuming and learning. And at this point, this is what I genuinely feel. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'd really appreciate it. Modern pop culture is just so sad and crazy, because there was a time when a lot of people just didn't have a lot of access to celebrities. I mean, back then in the 60s and the 90s and the 80s, yes, people did know about the celebrities. They read about them in magazines, but there was not a lot of access like how it is now with social media, because a lot of people on social media has an opinion on someone's life. And it's just something that's just so sad to see. As much as we're so happy to have technology evolve, but technology is also being used as a network platform to harm other people, and people just don't see it that way. And the more we consume this narrative and the more we consume things that are just so toxic and sad, the more we start projecting it into others, because we are what we watch and we start mirroring what we actually feel. That's just how life is, and we start pushing it out there. This video, as much as it is about Ariana Grande, it's also about the impact that we have when it comes to the whole concept of being concerned about people. We just do not seem to be really concerned about them, but we are more into trying to dig deep into the dirt and actually, be nasty to someone. And I just feel like the world can actually change to be something that's just so better. Ariana Grande is a phenomenal musician. She is amazing. She gave us beautiful hits. Yes, she decided to change who she is, and she didn't like how she looked back then. So what? People are just so mean, and mean people do not deserve to go to heaven. One of the biggest misconceptions about celebrity culture is the belief that fame protects people from pain, that once you become successful, rich, beautiful, and adored by millions, life's struggles somehow disappear. But Ariana Grande's story tells a very different story, because behind the awards, record-breaking albums, and sold-out arenas is a woman who has spent much of her adult life navigating extraordinary public pressure. For years, Ariana lived under a microscope. Every relationship became a headline. Every mistake became a controversy, every appearance became a conversation, and unlike most people, she was expected to endure it all while smiling. The public often forgets that celebrities experience grief, heartbreak, anxiety, and uncertainty just like everyone else. The difference is that their pain becomes public property. One of the most difficult moments in Ariana's life came when tragedy struck her concert in Manchester in 2017. In the aftermath, Ariana found herself carrying an unimaginable emotional burden. Not only was she processing the trauma herself, but millions of people looked to her for strength, leadership, and comfort. Then came more heartbreak. The world often falls in love with the image while forgetting the person carrying it. Audiences see the performances, the red carpets, the success, but they rarely see the emotional cost of constantly existing under observation. And over time, that pressure changes people. It changes how they move, how they speak, how they present themselves, how they protect their peace. Yet, whenever Ariana changes, the public treats it like a mystery, as though transformation itself is evidence that something must be wrong. But what if the opposite is true? What if the real story isn't that Ariana Grande changed? What if the real story is that she survived? She survived grief, survived trauma, survived heartbreak, survived one of the most intense levels of public scrutiny that modern celebrity culture can create. The tragedy of being a star is that people often expect you to remain frozen in time, but survival changes people, and perhaps the version of Ariana we see today is not proof that something is wrong, perhaps it's proof that everything she has endured. The tragedy of modern celebrity culture is not that people care, it is that people have forgotten what caring actually looks like. Real concern respects boundaries. Real concern does not require constant observation. Real concern does not demand access. The internet says it is worried about Ariana Grande, but sometimes the loudest concern reveals more about the observer than the person being observed. And maybe that is the uncomfortable truth. Hiding underneath this entire conversation, the story was never really about Ariana Grande, it was about us. A society so obsessed with watching women that we have convinced ourselves scrutiny is compassion, and perhaps that is the most toxic reality of all. Please let me know what you guys thought about this video. My name is Unina, your host from Tragic Icons. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please do leave a comment and opinion in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, please do subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. To the next video. Bye, y'all.